I'd ask that there be some language in here that would also include advocating or looking at rethinking our war on drugs, which by any measure I've looked at has been an abject failure.
Yes.
Beto was a council member in El Paso during a time when the drug war in Mexico was raging across the border. And he said, why don't we think about legalizing marijuana to take away revenue from these cartels?
The City Council considered it, and I offered an amendment to the resolution. It was surprisingly adopted and passed by the entire City Council of the City of El Paso, all 8 of us.
The issue at least deserves an honest airing and an intelligent debate.
We received a lot of pressure, most notably from our congressman, to stop this.
Not only was he not happy about it, he said if the city goes forward with this, it's going to lose federal funding, essentially threatened the city. Beto's response was, well, how about I take Sylvester Reyes out of Congress?
Beto O'Rourke has defeated Representative Sylvester Reyes.
There's nothing as powerful as an idea whose time has come, and I think the idea, its time had come in El Paso, and there was nothing that was going to stop it.
You referred to a book that I wrote with a good friend of mine, Susie Bird. We really focused on marijuana and that aspect of the drug war. We were moved at that time, 10 years ago, to come to the conclusion that the prohibition on marijuana should be ended, that we should end the war on drugs. Looking at what the effects have been, positive and negative, and then coming out of that with some solid solutions on how this country moves forward. What's the right thing going forward? For me, ending the prohibition on marijuana, making that legal in this country. How do we address the fact that some people have borne the brunt of this war on drugs?
We are busting people for possession of marijuana, putting them in jail, forcing them to check a box on every employment application form after they're released.
We have folks who are wasting away behind bars, who could be raising families.
Serving time for marijuana arrests, more likely than not people of color.
They are browner and blacker than most of America, though people in this country use illegal drugs at the same rate.
And what if we ended the prohibition on marijuana and expunged the arrest record for everyone arrested for possession of something that is legal in more than half the country?
For those veterans who do not want to be prescribed an opioid, that doctor at the VA who would rather prescribe medicinal cannabis here in this state do not become outlaws for wanting to do so.
You're then able to work with users not as criminals, but people who have a health problem. It can be addressed as a public health issue.
Trying to make sure that we adopt an intelligent federal policy that not only ends the prohibition on marijuana, but corrects so many of the wrongs that have been committed in the name of this country.